a man who sailed into the unknown, who braved deadly seas, endless storms, and uncharted waters. A single voyage that changed the fate of nations and rewrote the map of the world. This is the story of Vasco da Gama, the fearless explorer who connected Europe to India and opened a new era of global exploration. Birth and family background. Vasco da Gama was born around 1460 in Sines, a small coastal town in Portugal. He came from a noble family. His father, Estevão da Gama, was a commander in the Portuguese Navy. From an early age, Vasco was exposed to the sea, ships, and stories of distant lands. This upbringing sparked a fascination for navigation, adventure, and the world beyond Portugal. Childhood and education. As a young boy, Vasco learned mathematics, astronomy, and navigation, skills crucial for any future explorer. He trained under experienced sailors, learning to read the stars, currents, and winds. By the time he was a teenager, he already knew the basics of seamanship, preparing him for journeys that would take him across oceans few Europeans had ever crossed. Early career and inspiration. Portugal in the 15th century was emerging as a maritime power. Prince Henry the Navigator had opened Portuguese ships to exploration along Africa's coast, and the dream of reaching India by sea captivated the nation. Vasco da Gama joined these naval expeditions, learning from experienced sailors and gaining recognition for his courage and skill. He was chosen for the historic mission to find a direct sea route to India, a journey that would change global trade forever. First voyage to India. In 1497, Vasco da Gama set sail from Lisbon with a fleet of 4 ships. The journey was long and perilous. They rounded the Cape of Good Hope, sailed through uncharted waters, and faced storms, hunger, and disease. After nearly 10 months, he finally arrived at Calicut, now Kozhikode, in India, in May 1498. This achievement made him the first European to reach India by an ocean route, bypassing the overland routes controlled by Arab and Ottoman. This achievement made him the first European to reach India by an ocean route, bypassing the overland routes controlled by Arab and Ottoman traders. Impact on global trade. Vasco da Gama's voyage opened the door for Portugal to establish a direct sea link with India. This allowed the Portuguese to trade spices, textiles, and other valuable goods without relying on intermediaries. The success of his journey marked the beginning of the European age of exploration, reshaping trade, politics, and cultural exchange across continents. Subsequent voyages. Vasco da Gama returned to Portugal as a hero, and he would undertake 2 more voyages to India. His later journeys aimed to strengthen Portuguese control over trade routes and establish alliances with Indian rulers. Through careful diplomacy, navigation, and leadership, he secured Portugal's position as a dominant maritime power in the Indian Ocean. Personal life and titles. Vasco da Gama remained dedicated to Portugal and exploration throughout his life. He was knighted and later appointed Admiral of the Indian Seas, reflecting his contributions to the Portuguese Empire. While little is known about his personal family life, his legacy lies in the historic voyages, discoveries, and global connections he forged. Final years and death. Vasco da Gama's final voyage to India took place in 1524. He fell ill in Cochin, India, and passed away later that year at the age of around 64. He was initially buried in Cochin, but his remains were later returned to Lisbon, Portugal. His death marked the end of a life dedicated to exploration, discovery, and bridging continents. Legacy and influence. Vasco da Gama's voyages transformed global history. He pioneered the sea route between Europe and India, connecting East and West and opening new avenues of trade, knowledge, and cultural exchange. Statues, monuments, and streets across Portugal and India commemorate his achievements. His journey inspired generations of explorers, navigators, and leaders, proving that courage, determination, and vision can change the world. Vasco da Gama's life reminds us that the world is vast, full of challenges. Vasco da Gama's life reminds us that the world is vast, full of challenges, and waiting to be explored. One man, armed with courage and vision, reshaped the destiny of nations and left a legacy that still echoes across oceans. Tell us in the comments which voyage or explorer inspires you the most. Watch more stories of history and discovery only on Era Uncover. Subscribe, because every era tells a story.